Let's go with me to one of the city restaurants with the best Ayam Penyet ever, while also knowing some tips to doing IELTS test. For listening part, number one, whenever you do the listening part, you always have to pay attention to the nouns or to the words that you don't think have synonyms. These words are gonna be the keywords for you in order to not to get lost when doing the IELTS part, because the speaker in the IELTS speaking part really likes using synonyms. So when you choose words that don't have synonyms, it's gonna be easy for you to track which number is going to be discussed. The second tip would be every time you think that there are two answers being mentioned by the speaker, usually the correct answer is the second one. So if you expect the answer to be a number and there are two numbers mentioned by the speaker, then usually the correct answer is the second one, because the speaker likes giving you false answer first and then gives you the correct answer later. But it is usually the case. In a few cases, the speaker gives you the correct answer the first time he mentions it. So the first answer is sometimes the correct answer, but in most cases, the correct answer is the second one, or the last one that is mentioned by the speaker. The third tip for listening would be if you are doing the fill in the blank questions and you think that your answer contains a word from the questions, then usually your answer is wrong, because the IELTS test makers really want you to be able to spell words. So your answers must not contain any words from the questions, because if it is there, it is a part of the question words, then you just have to look at the question and notice the right spelling. But that means that your answer should not contain any words from the questions. Moving on to reading. When you're doing the reading, always remember to pay attention to the keywords too, because usually the IELTS reading passage is a bit long, so it's important for you to pay attention to the nouns or to the words that can become keywords to answering the questions. That's number one. Number two would be always remember that you go to the questions first. Don't go to the passage, as the IELTS passages are usually long, so sometimes at the end of the reading you usually forgot the gist or the core of the IELTS reading passage itself. So it's better for you, for me personally too, that you go to the questions first and then see the passage after looking at the questions. Next tips for reading would be always remember that the answers are put in an order. Yeah, but it only works for one type of question. For example, if you are doing fill in the blanks and you find questions number 1 to 7, or fill in the blanks, number 1 answer would be on the top, number 2 will be below that, 3 will go down, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, but if the type of the questions changes, then you can go up again. So if number 9 to number 13 are multiple choice questions, then you can go up again. So 1 to 8, fill in the blanks, you go down. 9 to 13, because they are multiple choice, you can go up again. If you have true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given questions, always remember to use all the available answers. For example, question number 1 to number 7 are true, false, not given, but your answers are only true and false. That means there must be a wrong answer, because you have to use all the possible answers. True, false, and not given should always be used when you answer those kind of questions. For the writing part, I'm not going to be able to explain in details about what to write in each sentence of the writing section, but my tips would be always focus on the grammar and also the vocabulary, because they are 2 of the 4 criteria in IELTS writing section. So always try to find good examples on the internet with a high band of writing that you can use, and you can follow the structure or the vocabulary, because that's what I did for my IELTS and it worked. So I would also say that it's going to work for you if you also follow the structures from the internet or the vocabulary that they use in the writing examples. For the speaking part, there is a structure that you can follow, and it's called SRE, that stands for statement, reasons, and also example. This structure is important for you in order to be able to elaborate your answers when you are answering the speaking questions. For example, if you got a question of, do you like your hometown? You can start by saying, yes, I like my hometown, and then give the reasons. My hometown is a cold place and I'm really into cold places, and every time I go there, I always feel like I can lay down in bed and feel the warmth of laying on the bed while also using the blanket, for example. And then after the reasons part, you can go with the examples part, and you can talk about your experience going to your hometown. Either it's a future experience or a past experience. So those are my ways to doing the IELTS test. And I welcome any suggestions. If you have other tips on doing the IELTS test, you can drop down your comments down below, and see you again in the next video. Bye!